Good evening, everyone. It is fight night. We got a great one on tap tonight. It's UFC 246. None other than Conor McGregor going against Donald Cowboy Cerrone. And tonight we are going to be breaking it down with none other than your favorite, yours truly, Coach Eric A. Bradley, a.k.a. The Real Fight Doctor, because after all, this is the fight show. So it's going to be promising to be a good night. He's going to be joining us here in just a moment. So what are you guys thinking about this evening? Who you got? What we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the style matchup and what each one of these guys are going to have to do to become victorious in that octagon tonight. So let's get to it. Here we go. There you are.
Hey. What's good?
Big night tonight.
Crazy night tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen Conor in a while. Not that he hasn't been in the news. He's been a little busy still. But tonight, he's getting paid for what he's going to do.
Well, he always found a way to get paid.
True.
But key is that the fact that he's back in a different form. He's pushed the glasses away. He's really gotten focused. This is basically what we call becoming a professional in a sport that requires you to be a professional, or it will show up. Earlier this week, he was alluding to up until the Khabib fight, which is really a bad way to dress it up, that you were drinking and stuff. But, that's neither here nor there. I'm not here for the current fighters. I'm here for the next generation. So just so you guys know that you cannot win at this game, because what you're doing is something that the body was not meant to do already. So you have to prepare yourself. So I'm just glad that Conor has figured that out and he's ready to take his game to the next level.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Time will tell. We're the fight card is happening right now.
Yeah.
And so we got a couple more hours before the main event. But let's talk about the styles here for a second.
Yeah.
All right. When we think about Conor.
Yeah.
As a professional coach.
Yeah.
What is your
biggest thing
on him?
The biggest thing that you'll note with Conor McGregor and Cowboy. So I'll start with Cowboy. Cowboy is a true, really, he's professional. And the thing I like about Cowboy is he may start slow, but he knows what he's intending to do. So with that being the case, he doesn't want to sacrifice what he's trying to do. He wants to make sure, and that's a safe way to go about it. Smart. It can cost you sometimes, but he's defensively responsible. One of the other things I like about Cowboy, and I'm going to get into one of the things that I see him being able to do when it comes to him going heads up with Conor McGregor, who's a very dangerous fighter. Don't get it twisted. I know he has haters, but Conor McGregor is the real deal. I'm speaking of Cowboy. The first thing I think would benefit him, his strengths are grappling, Muay Thai. He's very good when it comes to changing levels. So he can do a lot of feints as well as Conor. And here, boom, get close, get him in a body lock. He can do a lot of little things to make it a rough and tough night. Because once they get to the ground, that's where his strength is. Now, I heard in an interview that he's considering testing the hand skill set of Conor.
Oh, interesting.
That won't be a great idea. Strategically, because Conor McGregor lives in that world. Hands, skills, even though Cowboy Cerrone's a real good striker opposed to a killer with your hands. It's two different things. So I don't think it'll benefit him. He does not have the longer reach, even though he has the height advantage. Conor is a master when it comes to distance and controlling the distance.
True.
So these things must be really looked at and taken seriously, because Conor McGregor really is really good with his hands. But if Cowboy wants to put on his big boy pants and see why McGregor is called notorious, if he does not get him in a body lock, try to close him out on the ground with the real naked choke or something, he'll find it as a bad strategy.
Gotcha.
That's what will happen. And Conor McGregor will have come back and got back on top again, because he's already the Huckleberry as it is. He never loses that luster. They sold tickets out, $10 million worth of tickets
3 minutes.
in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
What, give or take a second, you
Yeah.
know? So
Crazy.
that's the real deal.
All right, so bottom line is you feel like Cowboy's going to have to go to the ground to have a fighting chance. So
Absolutely.
he's going to have to go there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There is no doubt. If he does anything other than that, he'll be flipping a coin. And I much rather see him do what he does strongest. Never let a fighter pull you out of where you are strongest. You are strongest at grappling. You're strongest at Muay Thai. Your kicks, because he has the longer legs,
True.
he can utilize that. You don't have to prove anything. The only thing you have to do is go out there and get the W. Look good the next time. The next time the checks will be bigger, because you just knocked off one of the top name brands in the sport of fighting. So,
And he's about a whole head taller.
yeah, he's
than,
6'1". He's
Conor.
a full 6'1".
He's a tall guy.
Same size as Nate Diaz, but I just think he's a different animal. He doesn't do as much harm to his body. He's a little more of a polished version of Nate. Nate's a junkyard dog, and that's what his brand is.
True.
Across the board. So, you know, he's never come short. But what I think it'll take for Conor to win, I'm sure that's the next question.
It is.
All right. So Conor McGregor will need to do what he does best. And what he does best is he controls space. Or you're about to say he controls distance very well. And one of the things he does is he uses those hands and he distracts you, and he tricks you here, he comes here. He parries well, he uses them, he distracts you. He has a very, very serious hand game.
He's got a wicked left hand.
And his left hand, he's heavy-handed. So people don't understand. Heavy-hand people don't have to throw punches as hard. So he can misdirect. He can set you up. One of the other things he does very well is he does what you call pull counter. Why does this work with Conor McGregor? You know, he'll play around with you, flail at you, get you to bite. You throw, he pulls, comes over the top. Boom, you're out. He plays with you high-low. You know, he changes levels with his hands consistently. And then when you come in, he catches you, rolls you. And for those of you who don't understand what that is, that's what we call, his style is called a cutie. And in boxing, that is a very dangerous fighter. You know, they don't engage. They basically just set traps for you to throw. And most fighters are very, very temperamental. They fight with emotion. He uses that against you. He gets you all riled up in the press conferences, and then you want to tear his head off. And that plays right in his hand. The only time it didn't work was when he fought Mayweather, because, of course, Mayweather was the guy who used to do that to people.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. What's an example of another fighter that also uses the cutie style, just to give everybody a good point of reference?
Well, there are very few in the UFC, because one of the things that they're usually taught, another guy that sets you up well is TJ Dillashaw. But see, one of the things that TJ Dillashaw is getting educated in is he's working with guys like Lomachenko, which is one of the top pound-for-pound boxers on the planet. Great footwork, great hand coordination, uses angles great, and he can just pull you right in. Another guy, he's a rough, rugged version of a cutie, Tony Ferguson, which our guy Rashad trains him. And one of the things that he does, he sets traps. You know, he's good on the ground and standing up. Hellified striker has the entire Savage package.
Definitely.
So when you think about fighting someone like a Conor McGregor, you know, you got to think about his intangibles. His arms are a lot longer. He hits a lot harder, and he's a Southie. And a Southie, the punches come from a totally different angle. And whatever you think is there is never really there, because he sets traps as a professional fighter. That's what he does well. So
very good.
He has to use what he has, and Cowboy needs to stay in his lanes, and it'll make for a great fight.
I believe. So any predictions at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to go the distance?
Prediction for the fight? Pain.
Yeah.
That's my prediction for the fight.
Yeah. It's going to be ugly.
It's going to be a very good fight, because unless Cowboy, because he's on a 2-fight losing streak, thing about it is you got to understand, stay in your lane. Don't try to outdo what the other guy does best. And he'll be fine. I mean, I think I really like him when it comes down to what he brings to the sport. He's the realest. You know, he was first to admit, yeah, I start off slow. What am I going to say? I don't. Camera says it all. So you got to love his style. You got to love his flair. You got to love just that raw redneck mentality.
And active to death.
And active to death.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it, man. When I see him do what he does, I appreciate him. He's good for the sport. And Conor McGregor is good for the sport as long as he keeps his nose clean and markets himself still, you know, because that's what sells tickets. So, but you can make sure you just can do it in a way that, you know, you don't step on your own toes.
True.
And I think, you know, for you who are watching tonight, what we're going to do is, I know the MMA world is watching, and I know some of my boxing fans are watching. Whoever drops the comment, whoever can call the fight closest, you're gonna get a pair of super cool power hands. These are the MMA strikers power hands, fingerless, 1 pound a piece. They pretty dope.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how we do. We make sure we take care of our people. So. Get these babies. Drop your comment down in the box below. For those of you who have never watched this channel, make sure you subscribe. You're talking to aka the Real Fight Doctor, Eric A. Bradley, and there is no other on this level.
All right.
Yep, so
good.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. Get these power hands. See what you got. If you fight, let me know. If you're a trainer, let us know. Drop it down in the comment box. Leave your prediction down there. Round, how. Let's see what you know about fighting. That's it. That's all we got for right now.
Sounds good.
Word. So make sure you subscribe.
We'll see you next time.
Give you much more.
Enjoy the fight.
Be blessed at Godspeed. Peace.